Welcome back to the deep dive. We're tackling a big one this time, how to totally crush it in an educational counselor interview.
It's such a rewarding field.
Absolutely. And we're diving deep with not just one, but two awesome guides. A career guide A&D, an interview guide. We'll even explore how RoleCatcher's AI can give you that extra edge.
Sounds like a plan.
So, before we get into the nitty-gritty of interview questions, let's paint the bigger picture. What makes this career path so special?
Well, you're not just an advisor, you're a mentor, a confidant, sometimes even a cheerleader. You're there for those aha moments when a student discovers their passion, overcomes a challenge, or simply starts believing in themselves. That's what it's all about.
I love that. Okay, let's jump into our interview guide. First up, what inspired you to pursue a career as an educational counselor? Seems straightforward, but I bet it trips people up.
Oh, absolutely. It's easy to fall into the trap of generic answers, but this question is your chance to let your passion shine through.
So how can our listeners avoid that trap? Let's say they've always enjoyed working with kids, maybe even volunteered as a tutor, but haven't quite connected those dots to a powerful why. What then?
That's where storytelling comes in handy. Instead of just saying, I like working with kids, bring it to life. Describe a specific moment when you saw that spark ignite in a student's eyes or how it felt to know you truly made a difference. You know, our career guide actually emphasizes the importance of mentorship and building strong relationships. Weaving those elements into your answer can be really powerful.
It's about showing, not just telling.
Exactly. And remember, authenticity is key. If your driving force is a love for learning, a desire to empower others, whatever it may be, let that shine through.
I love it. Now, let's say the interviewer throws a curveball. How would you approach counseling sessions with students who are struggling academically? Talk about pressure.
Right. It's about showing you can handle those tough situations.
Exactly. But how do you strike that balance between confidence and, not coming across as someone who shies away from challenges?
It's all about demonstrating a structured but adaptable approach. Start by emphasizing your commitment to understanding each student's individual needs. Then, talk about your toolbox, those collaboration skills we touched on earlier. You'd work with teachers, parents, even the student themselves to create a personalized support system. It's all in the career guide.
So it's about painting that picture of a holistic approach, academic A&D, emotional well-being. What might that look like in practice?
Absolutely. Imagine a student is struggling with math. You wouldn't just jump into equations, right? Instead, you might explore their learning style, see if there are any underlying anxieties they're facing, and then collaboratively develop a tailored study plan.
Right. It's about addressing the root cause, not just the symptoms.
Precisely. And this is where RoleCatcher can be a game changer.
Okay. Tell me more. How does RoleCatcher fit in here?
Well, it's one thing to have the knowledge, but RoleCatcher helps you present it in a way that truly resonates with the specific employer and job description.
That's amazing. So it's like having a secret weapon to decode what the interviewer really wants to hear.
Exactly. And it goes beyond just keywords. RoleCatcher helps you structure your responses in a clear, concise, and compelling way, ensuring your expertise truly shines through.
I can already see how this would be a game changer for those tricky interview questions.
It really can be.
This is fantastic. We're getting into the nitty-gritty of acing those educational counselor interviews. But we've got so much more to cover, so don't go anywhere. We'll be right back after a quick break.
Now, where were we? Oh, right. RoleCatcher analyzes job descriptions and pinpoints exactly what those employers want. It's like having a secret decoder ring for interview success.
I love that analogy. So it's not just about having the right answers, it's about presenting them in a way that clicks with each specific employer.
You got it. And that's where RoleCatcher's feedback comes in. It's like having a personal coach in your corner, helping you fine-tune your delivery and really nail those nuances.
That's incredible. It's like taking all the guesswork out of the process.
Exactly. But let's not forget about the human element. Authenticity is key. Now, let's get back to those interview questions. How about this one? How do you stay current with the latest trends and issues in education?
That's a big one.
Yeah.
Education is constantly evolving, so it's not enough to just say, I'm a lifelong learner.
Yeah.
You've got to show them you mean it.
Right. This is your chance to showcase those proactive professional development skills. Don't just mention generic workshops. Get specific. Talk about a recent article from a professional journal, a webinar on a cutting-edge counseling technique. You could even mention a podcast that helps you stay in the loop.
I see what you did there. But seriously, that's how you demonstrate real initiative.
Absolutely. Now let's flip the script for a moment. What if our listener is just starting out and doesn't have years of experience to draw on? How can they still impress those interviewers?
That's a great question. Not everyone have a long list of formal work experiences, especially in the beginning.
Exactly. But that doesn't mean you're starting from scratch. This is where your passion projects and personal development come in. Have you taken any online courses in specific counseling approaches? Have you volunteered in a way that allowed you to apply your skills? These examples show your commitment to growth, even outside a traditional work setting.
So it's about showcasing that drive to learn and expand your skills no matter where you are in your career journey.
You nailed it. And guess what? This is another area where RoleCatcher can really shine.
Really? Tell me more.
Let's say you're highlighting a volunteer experience on your resume. RoleCatcher helps you showcase those experiences in a way that aligns perfectly with the job description. It's like connecting the dots for the employer, making it crystal clear how your skills translate to the role.
That's incredibly helpful, especially for anyone transitioning careers or just starting out. It's like having a secret weapon to make your resume stand out.
Exactly. Now, let's dive into a question that often trips people up. Tell us about a time you had to deal with a challenging student or situation. How did you handle it?
Ooh, that's a tricky one. You want to show you can handle the heat, but not come across as someone who shies away from a challenge. What's the secret sauce for finding that balance?
You're right, it's a delicate dance. The key is to choose an example that highlights your problem-solving skills, your empathy, your ability to stay calm under pressure. Think back to your own experiences. Was there a time you had to mediate a conflict? Or support a student going through a tough time? Or maybe adapt your approach on the fly to meet unexpected needs?
Those are great examples. But how do you structure your response in a way that's both compelling and informative? It's easy to ramble when you're nervous.
Absolutely. Structure is key. Start by setting the scene, briefly describe the challenge and the context. Then walk the interviewer through your thought process. How did you approach the situation? What steps did you take? And most importantly, what was the outcome?
So it's not just about what happened, it's about how you handled it and what you learned from the experience.
Exactly. Did the experience teach you the importance of patience, communication, creative problem solving? Highlight those takeaways to demonstrate your self-awareness and that growth mindset.
I love that. It's about turning a potential negative into a positive.
Precisely. Now let's shift gears a bit and talk about another crucial aspect of interview preparation. It's all about nailing that first impression, putting your best foot forward.
And that's where RoleCatcher's feedback features really come into play, right?
Yeah.
We've talked about how it can help tailor answers and highlight relevant skills, but can you dive a little deeper into that feedback component?
Absolutely. Imagine this. You've just practiced your response to a particularly tough interview question. You feed it into RoleCatcher, and its AI analyzes everything, not just what you said, but how you said it. Your pacing, your tone, even your word choices. It's like having a personal interview coach, giving you real-time feedback, helping you refine every aspect of your delivery.
Wow, that's next level. Because it's one thing to know what to say, but how you say it can make all the difference in an interview.
100%. And that's what's so powerful about RoleCatcher. It helps you master those subtle nuances, those little things that can really make you stand out.
It's like having a secret weapon to boost your confidence.
Exactly. And speaking of confidence, let's tackle one final question from our interview guide, a classic for a reason. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? It's a big one for sure.
It feels like such a loaded question. What are interviewers really trying to gauge when they ask that?
They're looking for alignment. They want to see that your aspirations and goals mesh well with the opportunities available within their school or organization. Now, before you go listing off dream job titles, take a moment for a little self-reflection. What are your real goals? Where do you see yourself growing within this field?
It's about having ambition, but backing it up with a realistic understanding of the career path, right?
You got it. And don't be afraid to connect those aspirations back to the school's mission or the students you'll be serving. For instance, you might say, I'm excited to grow as an educational counselor here, and down the line, I'd love to contribute to developing a peer mentoring program. It's something I'm passionate about, and it aligns perfectly with the school's focus on student support.
That's a perfect example. It shows you've done your homework and you're thinking about the long game.
Exactly. It's all about showcasing that passion and that vision.
This has been incredible. I feel like we've armed our listeners with a treasure chest of tips and tricks for conquering those educational counselor interviews.
We have. Remember, your passion for guiding students is your superpower. Let it shine through. Be authentic, be prepared, and most importantly, believe in yourself. And don't forget those incredible resources like RoleCatcher that can help you refine your approach and really put your best foot forward.
Couldn't agree more. To all our listeners out there, ready to embark on this fantastic journey, embrace the challenge, stay confident, and remember, you've got this. Thanks for joining us on another deep dive. Until next time, happy interviewing.